Hi guys, first of all, thank you so much for not cheating because I can see clearly that, at least for most of you, I can be pretty sure that you attempted the quiz by yourself. So, throughout the semester, I kept emphasizing that I do not take too many marked quizzes because I don't want you to focus on the marks only and instead focus on the learning process. However, I did have to take at least a few marked quizzes, which is going to count towards your final grade. But I'm really glad to see that despite this quiz being marked, all of you genuinely attempted it. Because I am aware of the fact that when it's an online quiz, then there are lots of opportunities to cheat. Anyway, so even those of you who cheated and got away with it, well, all I can say is that you'll probably never get to know that you did not know something and need to work on it. And then ultimately, that's going to reflect in your final exams. Right, so I have a few general comments before I begin to discuss each specific question. And by the way, I'm aware of the fact that my voice sounds a bit low. It's just that I'm quite tired because I have been making too many recordings back to back, and right now I just don't have the energy to, speak the way I normally do. Okay, so the first point is that overall the quiz was quite easy, despite the fact that there were a few questions which were tricky. But other than those few questions, all of the other questions were actually quite easy. And I can say this for sure because I took the exact same quiz from two different sections at the same time. And one of the sections has performed quite well, while the other section has not performed that well. So if the quiz was inherently difficult, then obviously both of the sections would not have performed well at all. And as always, the spread of the marks is also as expected. So there are a few students who are always asking questions in class and always interrupting me, even when I'm explaining something. And they're also the first ones usually to respond when I ask a question, and I can see that most of those students have scored higher than the others. And this is not favoritism, by the way. I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that the more you interact, the more you try to engage with the content, the more you're going to be able to understand and apply it successfully. Because it's very easy to passively listen to a lecture and just think that, oh, this is easy, I get it. But if you're not processing that information through your brain, and by the way, there are a lot of ways that you can make sure that you process the information through your brain. For example, by engaging with the content, by asking questions related to it, by cross-questioning the concept, and so on and so forth. So unless and until you're doing that, that information is going to be undigested by your brain. So when the time comes to applying that information in the context of a question, and especially if that question is a little bit tricky, then you are essentially just using that raw information which has not been fully processed, and that is when you get into difficulty. And honestly speaking, even for the teacher, online teaching is a real challenge because we don't really get to see the students and we don't really know who is actually able to understand and who needs more help. So until and unless you yourself reach out to the teacher and let the teacher know which concepts you are struggling with, there is really no way the teacher is ever going to know what you are not able to understand. Okay, having said all of that, I would like to emphasize that at least most of you have actually done quite well, in the sense that you all have the basic concepts very clear. And trust me, even that is an accomplishment because we're all living through a pandemic, and online learning has posed a lot of challenges for all of us. So yes, I'd like to say congratulations to all of you because all of you have at least understood the basic concepts clearly. And please give yourself a pat on the back for your awesome performance. Now, as for those questions that you did get wrong, what I'm going to do is in the next few videos, I'm going to go through all of the questions one at a time, and then you can see which questions you got wrong and why. Because as I have always stressed, the real purpose of a quiz is not to get the answer right or wrong, but to actually understand why you got it right or wrong. Okay, and just one more thing before we start discussing the questions. If you feel you're still having problems with this course, please feel free to reach out because there's still time before your exams begin. As the saying goes, it's never too late. And I know you guys are burdened with assignments and term reports and so on, but I want you to stay positive and stay strong and just remind yourself of how far you've already come. I have full faith in you, and you should believe in yourself that with the right amount of hard work, practice, and patience, you can definitely ace the exam. Trust me, we all have rough days, and the secret is really just to not give up. And I honestly wish that I myself wasn't feeling so low so that I could put in some more energy while saying all of this. Okay, so let's start discussing the questions right away.